Mastering your physical fitness and building an aesthetic physique should be one of the first things any young man or man in general should focus on building. And the reason for that is because mastering your physical fitness, building a strong physique is something that's foundational and can build upon all of the other areas of your life, like, your mental health, your spirituality, business and finances, your relationships, is because it's essentially the same principles that you apply to building up your physical fitness and your body to all these other areas of your life, right? So just think about it, right? The concept of progressive overload. So for those that are familiar with that concept, that go to the gym or are in sports, progressive overload is a concept where you progressively over time increase the amount of volume that you do, the intensity and difficulty in your training to build up more physical fitness. And that same type of concept actually allows you to build all of the different other areas of your life, right? First and foremost, just mastering your physical fitness, right? So if you can't do that, how the hell are you going to do anything else? Because with physical fitness, you can't cheat it, really, right? Like, there's the laws of physics and thermodynamics, right? Like, you can't cheat that, really. I mean, unless you go and take steroids, but even then, you still have to like go to the gym and kind of eat right to get the results that you want. So it's like you can't really cheat it, right? So like, use physical fitness as the training grounds for all of the other areas of your life. And I truly believe that by me being in sports, right? So I played soccer for years. I was a track and field athlete. I ran Division 1 track. I did the 400-meter hurdles, for example. I've gone to the gym. I've built up a physique that I'm really proud of, and I really believe that having those foundations have allowed me to cultivate the relationship that I want to, right? I have a beautiful a beautiful Brazilian girlfriend, right? Like she found me attractive, and like I think that if you're able to build that strong physique, right, using body game, for example, um you are able to get that raw desire and attraction from women, right? And then even besides, like, attracting women and developing your sex appeal to attract women to you, you apply like these intangible principles and the mentality to business, for example, right? Like, I've been able to build a successful career within software sales. I've been able to get out of $60,000 of debt, and now I'm debt free, and I'm able to build more wealth for myself, being able to save and invest on a consistent basis every month. My mental health is a lot better. I'm able to consistently do my mental health practices, like meditate and gratitude journaling, and my overall levels of anxiety and depression have gone down significantly to where they are. I'm way more mentally stable than before, and I truly believe that having this strong foundation in physical fitness and sports and everything has really set me up foundationally for all the other areas of my life. The other key aspect here is, when you're able to kind of build up your body and you're physically fit, you kind of have this halo effect when you interact with other people. So I don't know if you've observed this around, but anytime you see someone that's like really attractive or like they're really physically fit, they tend to get better treatment from, both men and women, right? So for example, with women, like, you could say the same thing as another guy, right? So let's say there's another guy that's like not perceived as attractive, or he's weak, he looks kind of fat or super skinny. You could say the same exact thing as that guy, but when you say it, you get a completely different response. Just because, for example, the woman might just have like a raw attraction and desire for you, whereas the other guy, he's, no matter what he says, he's gonna kind of come across as like a creep, a weirdo. He's gonna get rejected. So there's that, right? And then even with like other men, for example, like men will naturally like have a natural respect, a respect towards you, and you'll be seen more as a leader, and like you'll kind of have more grace when it comes to things in life. So like there's that huge benefit, and it also like really helps in business and relationships as well. So for example, in business, like, let's say you work in sales and like you really built up yourself as a man, you just naturally will start closing more deals, cultivating better mentorships, networks, and just do better in business in general, right? So like that halo effect is huge, and I've personally seen that within my life. So there was a time period a few years ago when I was like the most physically jacked as I once was in my life. And man, like I remember there was one time I was in Boston and like I was just like walking around and like this guy he just stopped me. He was like, "Yo, man, like just respect, bro." And like when you would walk into areas, like you just would have more of a commanding presence, and you would get better service. People would kind of like cater to you. Women are looking at you. Got people want to be more, friends with you, and like that's like a huge benefit in life. And it's just fun. It's just cool to like be able to like walk around and have that kind of like presence and level of influence, and a lot of things just kind of start to kind of go your way. So the halo effect is huge, and it even gets crazier as well when you're also like in a group with other guys as well that also kind of have that like commanding physical presence as well, and it just multiplies, right? So like there's this thing called the cheerleader effect, and I have two really close friends that these guys are actually like more jacked than me, to be honest, right? And I remember one time we went to Costa Rica together on a guys trip, and I just remember we were just like walking down the street and just like people are just like staring, looking like who are these guys? Like we look like we look like NFL players, right? Like we look like professional athletes. And man, like they were just fun, and like just in general, like that cheerleader effect just makes us more attractive and more seem more powerful than if we were just to be walking alone separate, right? And so there's that added benefit as well. So the halo effect is something, and the cheerleader effect is something that I think is just really fun, and it's just really cool to observe like when you're actually like in the midst of things and going about it. But I think overall, like on a subconscious level, like when you're someone that's physically fit and has an aesthetic physique, I think what you're portraying across to other people is that you're somebody that is disciplined and has a level of self-respect for yourself. And that type of self-respect and your ability to stick to something long term and be consistent with it, it just shows that you're kind of more of like a trustworthy person and you inspire confidence in other people. I think that's really what the effect of it is on a subconscious level than just like the obvious like like visual effects that you would give off to other people. Yeah, so I mean, I would highly suggest like, while you're young, right? So for example, especially in your teens, especially in 20s, obviously like in your 30s plus, still continue to, work on your physical fitness and your physique and everything. But I think especially as you're young and your testosterone is high, you have a lot of energy. Those are the prime muscle building years and sets you a good foundation as you age later on, right? So for example, like, I'm 31. I've been training seriously for about like 15 years, right? Like ever since I was like 16 years old. And I'm reaping the benefits of all of the training that I did from my teenage years and in my 20s. And it's almost kind of like investing and putting money in the bank. So if you're a young guy watching this, like please take your physical fitness seriously because it's just going to be a lot harder. Like obviously don't give up when you're older, but it's going to be a lot harder and something that's more difficult as you age later on, because like I've said in the previous video is your physical fitness is just like the backbone and the foundation of your entire life. And what I like to preach on this channel is becoming a five-dimensional, well-rounded man. And don't take this message as, oh, like I'm just like all that matters is your physical fitness and your appearance. That's not what I'm saying. It's a strong foundation and an important pillar of your life, and it's something that will serve to build all of the other areas of your life. Like your relationships, your finances and business, your mental health, your spirituality, and it's a foundational aspect of your life that will help you in all these different areas, right? And that's really what I preach on this channel. So if that's something that really resonates with you, please like and subscribe. I'm going to continue talking about how to become a five-dimensional, well-rounded man. So stay tuned for that. But in general, I would just highly suggest keeping your physical fitness as a cornerstone and a backbone for you to rely on in your life, and use it essentially like as a training ground to improve and master all of the other areas of your life. So that's what I would recommend. It's something that has worked for me, for my entire life. So give it a shot. All right. Please like and subscribe, and we'll be in touch soon. Peace.